everyone, my name is Ishana,
I'm Yannick, aka Yadman.
and we are super excited to introduce you to our brand new talk show. This first episode, we will be talking about how Jeff Bezos makes his money work for him, and we are going to share tips on how you can make a plan for your money and make your money work for you. Stay tuned.
Big thanks.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ishana.g, and I am really excited to present a brand new show that I am launching with my great friend Yannick. Um, we are here to encourage the community to learn more about financial literacy by connecting financial literacy with the things that are happening in our world today. I find that sometimes financial literacy conversations can be a little bit bleak and boring. And so we thought it'll be fun to talk about celebrities, different world events, and even just talk about details about our own personal finances to encourage you to start your debt free journey. So, once again, my name is Ishana. I have a passion for finances. I have graduated from Hampton University with an MBA, and then I started my career. And once I started working, I realized it was really important for me to pay off my debt. I mean, life is expensive, and I love to live my best life.
Mm,
So, I started this platform. And Yannick, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
sure thing. Yannick here, aka Yadman, as you see on the screen. That's my nickname. Did it to what Deshauna said. Really, personal finance for me means less stress. As we know, stress manifests itself into physical forms, and it can cause body aches and all the things that you don't want. So for me, having a financial plan means peace of mind, aka less stress, aka I won't have as much physical pain. So also really passionate about getting your financial life and financial journey together, and hopefully we can shine a light on how to go about that in a way that's not centric to whiteness, in a way that takes into consideration blackness and other people of color experiences, and hopefully we can customize, some of that approach with that.
Especially because our experience is a little bit different. We are starting with a financial wealth gap. So Yannick hit the nail right on the head. Like it's very important for us to tell the story from our perspective because it's so tailored to us. And Yannick is really both of Yannick and I are into mental health and wellness. So it kind of all goes together. But it goes into our conversation for today because today we are focused on man, the most wealthiest person we know that is living in our time.
Dun,
He
dun, dun, dun.
almost said it. Jeff Bezos. Man, Jeff Bezos is, if you don't know who he is, I'm going to give you a little bio about him, but he is extremely wealthy to the point where when his wife divorced him, she became the most wealthiest woman in the world. Crazy. So today we're going to be talking about how Bezos makes his money work for him. So Jeff Bezos, he quit his job at an investment bank in 1994, and then he moved to Seattle, Washington to open a virtual bookstore. Working out of his garage with a handful of employees, Bezos began developing a software site called Amazon. So as of today, Jeff Bezos is worth $202 billion. And when I talked to Yannick about this, I was doing a lot of research about Jeff, and they said our $1 is equivalent to $88,000 to him. He makes $8.99 billion a month, $2.25 billion a week, and, or if you want to slice up a different way, 30 321 million a day. I mean,
It's almost criminal.
that's crazy. And this is according
Wow.
to Visca.com. So this man is just like crazy wealthy. And when we were doing our research, we were trying to figure out where does he get his money from? And well, one thing I would like to say, Yannick, you talked about a documentary that's amazing. You want to share more about that documentary to learn more about him?
Yeah, you could just Google on YouTube. What it is, it's a documentary, very well done actually. It does a really comprehensive analysis as far as how he started, the tactics he used to develop Amazon, make money, make the company really successful, and some of the issues of Amazon. Right? It's not kind of a one-sided thing where they're, oh, it's all lovey-dovey and roses with Amazon. It's very straightforward. It's very both side. Looking at, okay, what are some of the issues? What were they doing really well? And yeah, I just thought it was really well done. But I think more than anything, like you mentioned, where did he get his money from? So a huge part of it obviously came from the money he made off of Amazon. He's still like, I think he's the majority stake owner of Amazon. And I think I read somewhere it was like 11%, and that holds a huge amount of wealth for him. But also, we have to realize that it's not just the money that he gets from there; it's what he does with his money, right? So we would look at the investments, right? We would look at how he manages his overall expenses. Those are all things that go into not only making sure that he makes more money than he already has, but also maintains his wealth, right? In the long term.
Honestly, I would love to live one day as Jeff Bezos. That would
Mm,
be crazy. I don't want to be him as
I
in,
mean, what would you spend it on? What would you spend your money on?
I don't even know. This man, didn't you just hear me? I said $1 to us is
Hey,
$88,000
I feel broke when you
to
say that.
him.
Don't say that. I feel broke. Right. So going back to talking about Jeff Bezos' wealth, right? I think oftentimes part of the conversation is Jeff Bezos and all these other rich people, right? They use investments as a vehicle to not only build wealth but maintain their wealth. We have to understand that the money that they play with is on a different scale than the average U.S. citizen and the money that they play with, right? So when you invest a month, like let's say you invest $1 million in a money market account, as they would, right, or in any type of equities or whatever the case may be in bonds, the amount of money that they're leveraging, even if they have a return rate of like 5-10%, it's different levels, right? As opposed to if the average person were to invest, the 2,000, 3,000, even $500 here and there, right? Being realistic about what kind of returns we're going to be having and the kind of risks that we're taking, and not comparing ourselves. While we may want to attain the levels of the Bezos of the world and all the other rich billionaires, right? Just being mindful and living kind of in reality, and gut checking ourselves. In addition to respecting them for being billionaires, hold them accountable for for the bad stuff that they do.
But we can learn from them. So, like at the
We
end of the
absolutely
day,
can learn. Yes.
Jeff is a genius, and Yannick and I are not promoting, doing some of the types of things that he did, but we do promote allow your
Awareness.
money to work for you. So
That's right.
we brought this entire conversation to you to teach a lesson. Make a plan for your money and make your money work for you. And both Yannick and I have a lot of financial plans for ourselves. Maybe eventually down the line on another show, we'll talk about exactly all of our plans. But, one thing that we learned from Jeff is he does have areas of where he builds his wealth from the hard work that he has put into Amazon and the money that he's generated from that. But he's also taken the money that he's gained and invested it and put it into smart places. So I'm gonna let you go first, Yannick. What are you doing right now to make sure your money is working for you? And how can our viewers do the same?
I mean, first and foremost, having a plan, and all that plan is, whether it's a budget or whatever you want to call it. All the plan is, it's a reflected. Your plan basically reflects your long-term goals and your values, right? So, let's say that I have a long-term goal, and this is not true, but let's say I have a long-term goal of going to Cancun in the next 8 months. Um, that would be part of the plan. Then it would be, okay, what do I need to do now on a monthly basis to make sure that I allocate enough funds to go to make sure that I'm able to do that, right? And live
Mhm.
my life to the fullest. And so, that's kind of, those are goals. And then part of the value, where the values come from, is making sure that you're aware of what you care about and what is really important to you. Oftentimes we talk about, should I invest my money? Should I put my money in the savings? Should I put my, it just depends on what you care about, right? Do you care about having quick access to your money? And if so, I would not recommend getting a CD, certificate of deposit, because you won't be able to have access to that money. If you do care about having access to your money, then maybe a high yield savings account might be more for you. But that may not yield you as high of a return as a CD would. And so every single decision, there's no right or wrong decision, at least in my opinion, when it comes to personal finance. There's just advantages and disadvantages, and it's up to you to figure out what works the best for you. And so, just based on knowing your values, based on your long-term goals, use those things to determine exactly how you should plan out your financial future.
I agree. And when you say make a plan, it is definitely all about that budget, knowing how much money you're bringing in, how much
Yeah.
money is going out, and
Tracking
then
your expenses.
tracking those expenses. And there's different platforms you can use to use that. Of course, you can work with me. I help people with budgets. Actually, Yannick helps people with budgets as well.
Mhm.
Um, but having that plan is really important for me. I Once I figured out how much money I have, um, after I pay all my bills and I live my best life throughout the month,
Mm.
I actually decided to automatically put my money towards high yield savings account. And then when it got to about like a few $1,000s, I decided to take that money out and put it into a CD because I don't need access to a lot of money at all times. I could definitely lock the money away and be okay, because I have an emergency savings and I'm I've I've built a good cushion around myself, and I also invest. And so, y'all, once I realized I had it, like, out of once I get everything done, I have like about $50 left every paycheck that I could do anything with. I decided that I wanted to invest. So with my company, I can invest directly with my company. I work for Accenture right now, and they have an ESPP plan, which a lot of companies do if you work in tech and some other companies. And what they'll do is they'll give you a discount to invest in that company. But I also am diversifying. So I have like really good news. I didn't tell you yet, Yannick, but I just invested my money into cryptocurrency. So
Mm.
I'm invested in Cardania. I am not a financial advisor, so I'm not telling anybody else to do it. But over the past few weeks, it's gone up $10. And I'm like
Mm.
super high. I'm like,
Mm. Mm.
woo,
Mm.
woo, woo. So
One thing about crypto, if you are invested in crypto, make
yeah,
sure that you keep track of any capital gains tax that you
yeah.
may have. We currently, I don't believe we have any tax laws related to crypto, but that is coming. It's on its way. And your ass better be ready, because the IRS don't play with their money, and
At
they will
all.
tack on interest on the money you owe. So don't
Oh,
pay. Don't play yourself. Who said that? DJ Khaled? Don't play yourself.
yeah, don't play yourself. Don't play yourself. No, no, no. I have not even touched the money
Godman
yet.
said that.
I just put it in there, and I mean, maybe we could talk about investing another day. But
Sure.
long story short, I plan on continuing to invest not in cryptocurrency, more into mutual funds and things like that.
Mhm,
So
mhm, mhm.
we're gonna cap this conversation off with Yannick talking about a really, really good method to invest. There is a very wealthy person. I'll let Yannick say his name, and he's very well known for all of his investments and just living below his means and just being such a money matriarch in the community. So I would love for Yannick to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, the method is pretty simple. Warren Buffett, he is the, I believe, chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, and I appreciate his approach. Right, his approach is fairly simple. It's value investing, right? Just making sure that you invest in the long term, and you consistently put in money in the over the long term, right? So it's not this kind of get rich quick, right, type of thing. It's about, regardless of what the market does, if it goes up, it goes down, you're putting in that 10, 15, $50 every single month, right? If it goes down 10%, you put it in, and it'll kind of average out over time. And that's how you build equity. That's how you build wealth over the years, over 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And he did an analogy, and basically what he said was, if you own an actual store, and let's say that you had a bad month in that store, you would not sell your store, right? You would stay in that store, and hopefully the next 2 months you would have a good month again. So same thing with stocks. When you own stocks, you actually own shares of companies, and just because the company does bad one quarter doesn't necessarily mean you should sell it. It may make sense to do so if it's in line with your overall strategy, but just kind of keeping a very long term hold and investing um, on stocks, as opposed to buying one day, selling the next, buying, selling, and kind of having this zigzag approach, which isn't wrong per se. You just need to make sure that it's in line with your what's best for you and your values, right? So that's what I like about Warren Buffett's approach. It's very kind of long term vision as opposed to short term.
And one thing he always preaches is to diversify. So, just to give you guys more information about investing, there are a lot of ways that you can invest. You can invest on your own, or you can hire someone to help you. If you decide to do it on your own, there's a lot of robo advising apps that you can use, such as Robinhood. There's Ali Invest, which I just learned so much. Acorns, yes,
I
Acorns
highly,
Cash.
yeah, yes,
Mhm.
I recommend Acorn. It's a very good app.
Acorns takes money right out of your account, right? To help
They
if
can.
you have
So
a
they do it in a couple ways. You can either put money in there every month or however you choose to, or what they do is if you spend $1.75, they take that extra 25 cents and round it to $2, and then invest that quarter into stocks or whatever the case may be. So they just invest the difference. So it just depends on people. But yeah, it's what it is. Basically a platform where you get to choose the different tiers of risk that you want to take, and depending on that, it allocates your investments, whether in bonds, international stocks, et cetera, whatever the case may be, right? And it's all focused on ETFs, which is exchange traded funds, like similar to the mutual funds that you mentioned earlier, Deshauna. And
Mhm.
all that is a basket of stocks all in one. So instead of you going to
Thank
investing your
you.
money in Apple, you get to have Apple, you get to have Amazon, and all these other different stocks all in one basket. And so that's what I love about Acorns, is that you get to diversify all your investments in one way.
I like that Acorns will invest for you. So I agree. That's a really good platform. So we just gave you guys a bunch of different platforms that you could use to invest.
That's right.
Yannick, I do think we should probably talk more about investing in our next show,
Yes.
because that is a whole conversation. And I've learned so much this year about investing. Just like I said, just jumping out on faith and getting into cryptocurrency. But I prefer to talk more about, money markets and other ways that you can put your money and it'll just
Yep.
grow. So, thank you everyone for joining us for our first discussion. So, just to give you a recap, today we talked about how Bezos makes his money work for him.
Mm.
And we really want you to walk away with steps on how you can make your money work for you. And you can continue to watch us. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. If you need any budgeting help, make sure you reach out to us. We are always here to help. And then on the tellmemoreconsulting.com website, we also have freebies that you can utilize while you are having your way and like making sure you're saving money and having no spend days, because I love to have those. And while you're on your debt-free journey. So thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you guys catch us again. Bye.
The cruelest intentions. Praying my passion is not in vain. Just a human that truly just wanted change. My duty to liberation has came to a close till we meet each other again. Praying my passion is not in vain. Just a human that truly just